Pertaining the African industrial economics, where we embarking on to modernization and the implementation of the 21st century. We know that the monopolist capitalist agenda is never stopped from our former imperialists, and now Africa has been digged the gold in the previous centuries. Now it has become a wreckage, and now there's been new discoveries of gases, especially now, which is this one is orientated specifically to Mozabique, where we say that it's better that 3,000 have already died as a sacrifice, as comparing to slave trade, how many used to die, as comparing into the past in Egypt, how many used to die because of these minerals, because of these resources. This is what I got to say as a young man, embarking into the future. If Africa was internalized politically, economically, they would have never given a go-ahead on the Mozambique industrial economics of the gas pipeline. And as a result is that at the end, Africa will be left as a hazard of this industrial implication and frustration. In other words, this is what you're saying is that as the time goes on, the safety procedures and standards somehow will be undermined, and when it undermines, it's going to jeopardize the whole operation. So what we say is that the Africa economics on industrialization, it really needs a very critical mind to look at what is the priority this time. So in other words, if you say it's 260 years left for gas to end, I don't understand why there's still implementation towards mining and also of sourcing gas. I think it's the time we must reconsider going back to renewables, where probably each house might have a solar for now, use electricity for the course of the day. Overnight, no electricity supply, we're thinking green alternatives, because now told that the imperialists, they're already pumping in plus minus billions of billions there. And we look, this is the change that was left in the 18th century when they were about to instigate Mugabe. They are now coming to build a power station. How much they're going to generate, how much revenue numeration is going to be done out of Mozambique. So because Africa politics are not clean and clear, that is now we are becoming a third world economic industrialization invasion. We will be dependent in a financial institution where great assets is no longer natural resources, but is the mind, the spirit, and the soul of our people. So that what we say is that if we were really moving towards progress and we were united, such atrocity would have never happened. Why 3,000 dead? We have never deployed soldiers, the military there. Why? In the eyes of the UN, in the eyes of governance, this is stupidity at a higher place, really. But nevertheless, this is what we're saying is that this is how operation has been done for thousands on top of thousands of years. Humanity has been raped of its right to be, and as a result, that is why we say in that Africa we still live in a subhuman bondage. Why 3,000 has to die there? So with this economics, we're looking at to say, my African, there's nothing we can do much except this wickedness that we can witness with your own eyes, to say, really, did it have to be like this? David S. was right, it doesn't have to be like this. We got to leave the planet. So the mono-capitalist agenda of so-called the minority group, which is the one involved in doing all of this, because now it's surprising to see that there's also involvement of Britain, of UK, France, and other countries that are hidden. You can't understand what's going on. So these are just indication about the African economics through industrialization, to say this is an exploitation, not just a human dignity exploitation, but even ecological exploitation, to say those who former colonize us, they are now coming to colonize in the name of modernization, known as a third world economic slavery, where they can't give us our land, but they give us cars. They can't give our waters, they give us alcohol. It's very bad. It's very bad indeed. So when you say it's a mess, now you can see the mess. So problem statement is that Africa has been left as a wreckage in the past centuries through mining and so forth. But if today we have young people who sign up the deals to buys of billions and millions at the expense of Africa, then you can see the future where it's going. So this is a final conclusion to say, as an ecologist, as a young man in the fields of generalization, as a general human being, these are things we're observing and we're looking at our eyes to say, you see here it's a mess, here is a mess.